week of football we've had. Nah!
Whoa. Who let the skeleton out of the closet?
Well, don't you know I'm the new host of Not Another Sports Show?
I'm pretty sure that's my job, actually. I'm Brian DiNatale, and this is Not Another Sports Show.
And I'm Cujo, and this is your sports show.
And man, we are back. It is spooky season.
Oh, we got all the vibes this week.
Fun little intro for you guys, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Halloween.
Look at this decor.
Yeah, I mean, we went out.
We got a big budget,
but yeah, I mean, we got the budgets printed in, all the subscribers,
Yeah,
tell your guys' friends.
We had the bye week last week.
Right, there was a bye week.
Travel.
I was across the world. I was in Abu Dhabi and India.
Oh.
And I just got back yesterday, so
man,
no sleep this week. Absolutely no sleep.
Who needs sleep? There's plenty of bets to do. There's
right.
plenty of stuff.
Yeah.
Like no one needs sleep.
I almost sent you guys a bet straight from Varanasi, India.
Oh.
For I was gonna call it like a Sunday pack. Sunday variety pack.
A little variety pack.
And sent like some Packers bets. Internet was too bad there, so I didn't get it. Didn't go through, I don't think.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah, you guys would have cashed, obviously, though.
Yeah,
Trust me.
It was all there,
Yeah, but no, I mean, we had some good matchups, some frightening matchups in college football, I would say. I mean, Texas got a little spooked there by Vandy.
Vandy definitely spooked them a little bit. Texas was on upset alert, but they were able to pull it out. I mean, Quinn Ewers?
Dude, I'm sorry to all of you, to Ewers and to all the fans of Texas. I might have cursed him with
he's getting that
Heisman
turnover bug
pick.
we talked about. He's prone to making some bad decisions.
Yeah, like I said, that's my bad with the curse. I mean, 3 picks against Vandy. That's pretty rough.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Diego Pavia, he's a vibe.
Yeah,
We've talked about him with
candidate.
Vandy. Heisman candidate.
He didn't play like incredibly well, but he's
got
still
aura though.
He does.
Vandy doesn't get the respect they deserve either.
No, they honestly probably have. If we're talking schedule, I mean, they have the scariest of schedules. I would say. I mean, you look. I mean, playing in the SEC and playing against all these teams, it's rough.
It's scary. It's scary for sure.
I mean, speaking of other teams that got spooked this week, Ohio State, those Cornhuskers, baby. Look
we just didn't have enough Mahomes magic.
Nah, the Mahomes magic's kind of starting to wear off, it seems like.
This is back-to-back
offense.
Scary games for Ohio State. Are the Buckeyes in a little turmoil?
It's a little early to say that. I think, soon, there's some matchups coming up possibly this week. We might get into that a little bit later. A couple of scary matchups coming up. Let's
man,
say
all
that.
the Halloween.
Yeah, we're starting off with puns early here.
It's going to go all day. It's a long episode for you.
Yeah, we got plenty of things lined up.
We got lots of new things lined up.
Yeah, I mean, there's some fun games we got lined up as well. I guess I'll just get this out of the way now.
Do it for the people.
LSU lost, guys.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We're so devastated.
No.
You got me shaking in my bones like our little co-host right here.
Yeah. It was rough. I mean, there was a lot of Nussburgers being thrown out there. There was 3 picks.
They were buy one, get one free.
He was 25 for 50. Threw the ball 50 times. I don't know if that matters, but
I don't think 50% is very good completion, especially many passes.
It helps it helps the interception to pass completion ratio.
Oh yeah, if you just throw more. Yeah.
But right. Here's the thing. The big note here is that Texas A&M is actually as good as we thought they were at the beginning of the season. We were
out after week 1.
We were out. It was a little bit of an over exaggeration, I would say, on our part. But turns out they're actually that good.
To be fair, Connor Weigman's got better as the season progressed. Now, obviously, this game, Connor Weigman didn't do anything. Like, let's not act like this was like Weigman's reason they won.
Right.
The running game, Amari Daniels, Le'Veon Moss, both spectacular. Marcel Reed, 3 touchdowns. A&M really just dominated that whole second half.
Yeah.
LSU just disappeared.
Yeah, they ghosted.
They ghosted them. All the players were ghosted.
Yeah,
it was bad.
It wasn't great.
You hate to see it. You really hate to see it.
No, they're getting it out of the way now so they can win the Bama game at home. They're getting their bye week this week. Come back, win it.
They can't
at
lose
home.
anymore, though.
They got prime time.
They can't lose any more games. Otherwise, they're not going to make the playoffs.
They won't. That's fine. That they're not going to lose any more games, and that's fine. But you know who probably is going to lose more games?
Oh, no. Who's that?
These Mizzou Tigers.
Whoa.
They got absolutely slasher film slaughtered by...
That was a little Friday the 13th action.
It was
What
Jason
happened to them?
showed up, and yeah, they got slaughtered by
we're
Bama.
really not surprised here, are we?
No.
Mizzou is already hobbled. Cook gets taken out. He didn't look good anyway. He was already playing injured, and Bama just kind of rolled. Bama was due to have a huge bounce back.
Yeah, are they finally back on track, or what do you think?
Bama's kind of one of those Jekyll and Hyde teams.
Little Jekyll and Hyde action.
Little Jekyll and Hyde.
Well, let me just ask you this then. If you had to pick a couple of Jekyll and Hyde teams, we'll say, all right, so we'll say Alabama, for sure. Like how you lose to Vandy and then, but you you beat Georgia. You almost stomp them, but they came,
yeah.
Who else are you taking here?
Oh, who else? Is Notre Dame at Jekyll and Hyde?
They might be.
They had that NIU game, but then it's like they've just railroaded teams.
Yeah.
So
what do you make of that?
What Notre Dame are they?
Right.
Granted, they just got a huge win over Navy. Navy's obviously a really quality team.
I thought you were going to say a huge win against the Jackets. That is a huge statement win.
Georgia Tech is a quality team as well.
Yeah.
Granted, they beat Georgia Tech without their starting quarterback, so there's not as strong of a case.
Yeah.
Notre Dame hasn't really played that much of a schedule.
True.
We talked about earlier in the year, like their schedule's not hard.
No.
Now that Navy game turned out to be like a surprise, like bonus on their schedule of like a quality team, but they manhandled Navy.
Oh yeah.
So I think Notre Dame is. I think there's a couple college players too that are a little Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh, if I had to pick one college player that is a Jekyll and Hyde,
Nussberger.
no, he's just purely Jekyll or Hyde, whichever one's the bad one. I don't actually know which one's the bad one.
Is it Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
Yeah, Carlos
Right?
Hyde.
Carlos Hyde?
I don't know.
I think so.
So I would give him. He's Hyde all the way, but I was gonna say maybe Carson Beck. What do you think of that one?
I can see it.
He might also just be Hyde. I don't know.
I don't know. He has games where he throws 3 picks and looks awful, like he did against Kentucky.
Last game I think he had a few picks as well.
Yeah, and then there's games he's gone off, but I don't know what Carson Beck is right now.
So here's the thing about Carson Beck. I think if you look at that Bama game, that's like a tell of like what his season's been. It's like he had one half where he was just atrocious,
and then just
next. And then the other side, he was Dr. Jekyll. He was
he just flips the switch.
Something happened. I don't know if the moon rose high enough into the stadium. And
he's like a gargoyle.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm not sure what happens, but on the season, the dude, in conference play is 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. So I don't see anything more Jekyll and Hyde than that.
Yeah, it's day and night. Whatever, whatever floats your boat.
Cuddy vibe,
a little trick, a little treat. Who knows, you know?
If we're talking tricks and treats, you want to get into maybe we could do a little trick or treating if you want.
Oh, we want to do a little trick or treating?
I got an idea for a little trick or treat action. Maybe I think you've got a little pail next to you there. You got your trick or treat.
You guys see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see if we got any betting picks coming up here. Yeah, what's in there?
What is in here? Oh, first one, Oregon versus Michigan.
Oh, all right.
Oregon versus Michigan.
So let me. Are you hexing them or are you flexing them?
So current line is Michigan is plus 14.5. They're at home against the number 1, the undisputed Oregon Ducks.
Yeah.
And Heisman leading candidate now, Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
At Michigan.
In the big house.
What
do you think?
I like Michigan to cover.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't think Michigan's a great team by any stretch.
You hate on them so much.
I hate on Michigan quite a bit. We've also hated on Oregon not being impressed. Oregon doesn't really blow out teams either. Oregon's not a great covering team. Michigan actually covers a lot when they're the dog. They don't get blown out much. Outside of that Texas game where they got absolutely destroyed, their losses haven't been by 14.5. So I just don't see a way that Oregon runs away with this. I think it's kind of a gritty game.
Yeah.
You know.
So you're flexing Oregon.
I'm flexing Oregon.
Yeah.
hex on the.
Or I guess you're hexing Oregon.
I'm hexing Oregon, flexing on Michigan.
All right, let me see what else we got.
What else we got in here?
Yeah, what else is in there?
You want
Let me get this one.
You want to get a little treat?
Here. Let's see what we got.
We're passing them out left and right. Little candy bets.
All right, so this one, guys, if you look at this, it's Vandy versus Auburn. I don't know if you can see that. Yep, there you go. Right now, it looks like Auburn is a 7-point favorite. Look, Vandy's good. I'm just gonna say it. I think Vandy is very good, and
Auburn's not.
I'm confused on why this is a 7-point game. I think Vandy's coming out pissed after last game when they really should have just handled business. You know, they started coming back. They could have came back and won it. I'm going Vandy here. We're hexing Auburn.
Hexing Auburn?
Hexing Auburn. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, I agree. I was talking to one of the listeners, D-Sut. We were talking. I could see Vanderbilt being the favorite in this game, or at least a straight up pick 'em. A full touchdown for Auburn,
that's wild.
Who hasn't done anything all year. They lost a string of 4 games in a row. They just beat Kentucky 24-10. Are we really that impressed with Kentucky?
No,
we're not.
They had a good game against Georgia.
You know who also beat Kentucky? This Vanderbilt team.
Yeah.
So what? And they were both on the road. Both teams won at Kentucky. I don't hold much water to that.
No.
You know what I have seen is Vanderbilt beat Alabama. They took Mizzou to the wire early in the season in a quality game at Mizzou. So going to Auburn here doesn't seem like a big threat. It's an 11:45 a.m. game.
Right.
The moon's not even going to be out howling.
I see. What's your weather pick for that game? Do we have any? Do we have any weather report? Is that gonna affect it if there's lightning and stuff like that?
That normally is a big factor when we look at betting.
You gotta look at the weather report.
Pro weather pod. It's gonna be sunny 75, sunny and 75 in Auburn, Alabama.
That's not too scary.
That's not scary.
Yeah. So I mean, I agree with you. I'm hexing them. I'm hexing those Auburn.
I think. Do we get another treat? We get another treat?
Another treat? Yeah. Let's see what else is in there. See what you got in there.
Oh, let's see what we got. Oh,
is it a trick or is it a treat?
Oh, it could be a trick.
We
got a Sunday NFL game.
Whoa, we are getting a little tricky with it. We got NFL. All right.
Treats.
All right.
We have Jaguars versus Eagles. Jaguars versus Eagles. Currently, Eagles are -7.5.
Okay.
Who you got?
Ooh, if I had to pick, I'm going Eagles here. And I know the Jags put up a decent showing last week. Still lost.
Still lost.
But, decent showing, but I'm taking Eagles spread here.
Yeah, I'm all for
fly Eagles fly.
Flexing the Eagles.
Yeah.
Give me the Eagles -7.5.
I mean, arguably the Jags are just always hexed. We don't have to do that for them. We don't have to. They already are.
Especially on American soil.
Yeah.
They're very much a
you flex them overseas.
England team. Yeah, they're a flex overseas. Little Christopher Columbus action, I think.
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
Right.
I mean, hey, look, if they end up going over there at some point soon in the next few years, yeah, I mean, they could be the
they could be undefeated at home.
Yeah, most dominant.
They'll at least get 8 wins.
Right.
But no, I think it's all Eagles. Jaguars also play a lot of man coverage, a high percentage. Let me tell you, they do not have the corners to stick with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So I think this is going to get nasty. I don't think this is going to be particularly close. The Eagles defense has been playing outstanding down the stretch. Man, it's fly, Eagles, fly.
All right, let's see what else we got in that bucket.
You want a little treat?
I want a little treat.
What we got?
All right. Oh, all right. We got the game of the week on here. Maybe game of the year, part 3?
Part 3?
We got Ohio State versus Penn State. Currently, OSU is a 3.5-point favorite. And let me just start by saying OSU needs to win this game.
Yes.
Because if they don't win this game...
They done. They gone.
We talked about it.
They're dead.
They're done.
As dead as bones over here.
You know why they're done? Because they still got to play Indiana. And Indiana is looking terrifying. They're like Michael Myers following you around.
Oh.
Maybe Ashton Gente because he's also like Michael Myers.
He just stands back there
and lurks. I mean, yeah, they got to still play them. So I think they really have to win this game. 3.5 is just kind of like mean by Vegas, and they know it.
You don't believe in Penn State?
It's hard. It's hard because I think I'm taking OSU cover here.
Oh, all that just for OSU to cover?
Yeah, I'm hexing Penn State.
Hexing Penn State?
What do you got?
Believe in them?
Who are you hexing?
I'm hexing Penn State.
Yeah,
Ohio State has Penn State's number. I think the last 6 games, Penn State's had to play Michigan and Ohio State. They haven't won. Ohio State's going to come out hungry. They have not played well. The last 2 games, the Oregon game, they kind of blew. They had a chance to win that game and let it slip away. And then they arguably should have just lost at home.
Yeah.
So to a Nebraska team who is quality, don't get me wrong, they're a quality team, but they're not to the same standards as Ohio State.
They'll play close in the game. They won't win it. They'll have a chance though in all these matchups, and the Huskers just can't seem to get to that next level.
No, and honestly, if this was maybe a nighttime game, I would maybe feel a little more comfortable looking at it.
I would say here's the other thing is if Ohio State also didn't almost lose last week, I would be Penn State's going to come out pissed and firing, but literally just happened to both teams the same way where they both kind of got spooked a little bit last week. And
Penn State's got probably a little wiggle room to take a loss here. If they're going to drop one, this game's not going to kill their playoff chances. Ohio State second
that's
loss.
What it comes down to.
That puts you in a really compromised position. I don't know why this wasn't a night game. Why is this an 11 a.m. game? This is partially game of the year, and coming into the year, both teams were ranked high. This isn't a surprise that they're both really good.
So really,
this should be a whiteout night game at Penn State. That's what this should be. We should have Mo Bamba playing, going into the 4th at Penn State, all whiteout. That's what we should get here.
So
instead we're getting a noon game.
That's really more the beef that you have with this.
Absolutely. If this was a night game at Penn State, I'd take Penn State all day. I think they're due.
Yeah.
But this, the crowd will be rowdy, but that's not nearly the same. Come on.
I mean, the temperature drops 10 degrees.
A lot of college kids going to be partying, a little more extended Halloween weekend. Friday night, I'm sure they'll be studying, hitting the books.
Sure.
Up bright and early to get a nice run in, a little morning coffee, hit the books again right before the game.
Totally.
Yeah. I'm taking all the way Ohio State here, 3.5.
All right. We got any more goodies in that basket?
Oh, I think we do.
All right.
Oh, we got an extra little treat.
We got a trick. We got another trick in here. It's NBA action. We got Rockets versus Mavs.
Halloween night, actually.
Man, so we got that one tonight. Well, we got currently Mavs 5-point favorite. You know what? I'm going to let you pick this one. You
haven't picked a lot of NBA lately?
You're the NBA guy here. I'm picking Luka probably is who I'm going with here. So I'm hexing the Rockets because I know nothing about the Rockets. But.
They're a young, energetic team. The Rockets are off to a fast start. Jalen Green, obviously a stud. Segun, he's also a very talented young guy, just got paid. Rockets are trending the right direction. Luka and Kyrie are very sharp early in the year. Clay's looking especially good. Going to the Mavs team looks a little revitalized. I like them for here at 5.
Yeah.
There's too many weapons, to be honest with you. Now, I think the Rockets are the more athletic team. They play at a higher pace. Luka likes to slow the game down, so I think that's going to kind of play in the Mavericks' hands. I think Houston will struggle to find a balance on offense, trying to get into a rhythm. Same way with Kyrie. Kyrie can slow the game down and work at his pace. So I like the Mavericks here.
All right. I mean, you heard it here. I mean, I said Mavs too, but I don't know if my opinion
what you were talking about
matters too much. I watch NBA playoffs. It's a little too early now for me to be commenting on basketball.
This is the time to be getting all the player props for basketball. Props for basketball are the best.
Yeah, I mean,
absolute best.
Well, what do you got? You got any candy for us? You got any little candy for us lined up?
Tonight?
Yeah, I mean, tonight, this weekend. I mean, you got any other candy for the people? I mean, I heard you've been cashing some bets so far.
We've been cashing pretty well on these props. Multiple have been Kyrie, actually.
Oh, yeah?
We've been riding the Kyrie streak. Devin Booker, It's been hot. We just cashed LeBron tonight. Like, we're shooting Wednesday. LeBron just hit over 23.5, so
Nice.
we cashed that. Maybe we'll get a little weekend episode.
Throw a little
like
check it out on the reel.
Yeah, throw it in on a reel. Get you
All
guys
right.
some extra content. We know you want it.
Yeah. All right. So what else we got in that treat basket there?
I think we still got something in.
Is there one more?
I think there's one more treat.
Oh, what do we got?
See.
Oh yeah.
Just kidding.
All right.
Get that out of here. Oh, you want me to read this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, this is a nice trick.
All right.
We got a little footy action.
Oh,
Little footy action.
If you guys haven't been checking it out on our socials, he's been posting Footy Fridays. He shows off some of his. It's really a feet. It's also an OnlyFans feet pick, really.
Yeah,
he's showing off his shoes, sneakers, and giving you guys some soccer picks, soccer bets. He's been apparently cashing lots of footy bets this year. We told you on maybe last show or 2 shows ago, but what do you got this time?
Oh, on this card we got Tottenham Hotspur versus
Tottenham.
Villa. Aston Villa.
The original Ted Lasso team.
The original Ted Lasso team.
All right.
If you've not watched.
Great show.
Absolutely phenomenal show. Really just doesn't get enough talked about. Tottenham is at home. A lot of people actually know the Tottenham field. That's where a lot of these games in England have been getting played for football. Tottenham's coming off a bad result last game.
That's rough.
Last match was not great for
that.
Tottenham. They dropped what they should not have dropped to Crystal Palace.
So they're going to come out pissed.
Yeah, I mean, today they did, as we're filming this, today they did just beat Manchester City.
Dang.
It's a huge
right.
upset. Man City, big team. But
Hangover game, though?
They
not
lost
worried
to
about
Crystal
that?
Palace
Okay.
before that, over the weekend, and that was bad. Crystal Palace hadn't won a game.
Oh,
It was bad.
And then they go and beat Man City. So really, can you trust them?
City.
I don't know. They're a Jekyll and Hyde, it sounds like to me.
They are
Like, little
Jekyll and Hyde,
Hyde-ish,
actually.
if you
They are.
ask me.
But Aston Villa, quality team. They sit ahead on the table as well. But Aston Villa also lost to Crystal Palace today, 2-1.
Crystal Palace is really the team, is what I'm hearing.
To take Aston Villa on the bounce back. But I'm taking Tottenham on the
right.
money line,
All
minus
right.
110. Remember, with footy bets, if you bet on the money line, they have to win. They cannot draw. That is a loss. You can actually bet the draw straight up. Now, you can go bet double chance, which is either the draw or the win for the team, or you can do draw, no bet, which is them to win. If it draws, you get your bet back. Obviously, the odds shift when you're like hedging that much because now you have 2 out of the 3 possible results in your favor. But I'm taking Tottenham on the money line, cash it in.
Man, what a really, what a segment. I mean, that
was a great treat.
it really was. I
Man,
felt like it.
That was like a nice little variety pack.
It was.
We had the Snickers, the Kit Kat, Hershey bars,
some Skittles.
I
mean, yeah.
M&M action.
Yeah.
Like, man, that was great.
It's not anything about, we never talked about this is not related at all, but MJ, we got MJ over there.
Oh, yeah.
I got Bugs. You can't really see it.
Yeah, you can't see the back, but
we got our
we're
costumes,
Toon
so
Squad.
we were able to have little goodies there because, we dressed up.
Yeah, we went around to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Got a few odd
For some reason, people just gave us bets. They just put bets in our basket instead of candy, which is
so weird.
Kind of,
I mean, more valuable?
definitely more valuable.
You know, the thing that we didn't talk about on here, like,
What's that?
while we have this great pumpkin,
Yeah.
one of our listeners, one of our subscribers,
Really?
created this beautiful
Look at that.
pumpkin here. Look at that. Look at that. Not
Oh,
another sports show
man.
pumpkin. That is a beautiful design. One of our listeners.
One of our listeners.
OG subscribers.
Yeah? Who's that?
I think it's crystal.yn.
Wow. Just look
On
her up on
Instagram?
Instagram.
Yeah.
Follow, give her the follow, shout out.
Yeah. I think she made this pumpkin.
Wow. Well, I mean,
Heck of a pumpkin.
Heck of a pumpkin.
A great pumpkin, some would say.
All right. So I guess maybe talk a little bit about the big matchups this week in college football. Or
I mean, we kind of did, but I don't know if we really talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, so first off, we got the Oregon and Michigan game. We already told you guys that.
Do you think Oregon is the number 1 team in the nation? If you had to pick your number 1 team in college football right now, is it Oregon?
Dude, it's tough because it's been Jekyll and Hyde season. It's hard to pick any team to be number one. At the beginning of the year, we
has a
thought
lot of costumes. People dress up as teams that they aren't. A lot of people are fake.
Yeah, I mean, there's some werewolves that'll show up like NIU.
Oh,
you know, those wolves came out that night, the full moon.
You get some offenses like LSU second half that kind of just turn into stone, like gargoyles, and don't move the ball.
Yeah, I mean, there's, it's tough. They are just because of like how things have shaken out this season. But I mean, I'm not really in on them either.
Is that who your title pick is then right now? Is Oregon?
No, I'm still on the Texas.
Oh, you're still?
I think I'm still on the Texas.
Talked up yours and like kind of screwed his career.
It's my bad. I mean, I gave him the curse. I gave him the hex.
Heisman.
But I have. I'm going to stop picking Heisman picks. I guess my question for you is then, if they're not for you, who is?
The Bulldogs of Georgia.
That's good.
Georgia's only loss coming to Bama. That's a game that's a toss-up that they easily could have won.
Yep.
They lost. I think Georgia's still just the best overall team. They've had a couple scares. Don't get me wrong. It's not like they're unbeatable by any stretch, but I think they're the most well-rounded team. And I'll lean on the experience of hopefully I get the right version of Jekyll and Hyde out of Carson Eck.
Yeah.
But I'll take my chances with Georgia. ETN's starting to get it going a little bit on the ground, so I think Georgia's going to shape up into form come playoff time, and I think that's who I want going into the postseason.
That's fair. I mean, now that you say that, I'd probably also go Georgia. It's one of those words like I see how Oregon's won right now.
I mean, they deserve to be one.
Yes, based off of everything. But if I had to pick like the best team, if we're going by that, yes, then I would say it's Georgia. But speaking of big games, like, games of the year like that one. How about game of the year part 3, OSU at Penn State? We already started talking about it. I guess my question is can Penn State hold OSU like Nebraska kind of held them in check last week?
I think Penn State can. I think their defense can hold. I don't know if their offense will be able to move that well in Ohio State, though. So, I think Ohio State will inevitably score. I think Ohio State will still probably get to 20. I don't know how well Penn State's going to be able to move the ball.
Yeah, I mean,
this seems like a 20-10 type game. It just seems like Ohio State should cover.
Yeah.
But Penn State needs a victory like this as a real statement W of who they are. Because until you beat the Ohio State, you beat the Michigans. What are you in the Big Ten? No one cares. For Penn State, it's can Franklin and them get a hump? Because they beat up on all the other teams, and that's great. But didn't we just get on Ryan Day at Ohio State about not being able to beat Michigan and win the big games?
Mm-hmm.
I think it applies here to Franklin at Penn State.
Well, and we already kind of talked about it too. If they don't win this game, it is nightmare scenario for Ohio State. It is a nightmare. It is Friday the 13th.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, I guess that can get us into a little. Is there any other nightmare scenarios? A little segment idea for you. Is there any other nightmare scenarios you see pending here?
Pending?
Yeah.
There's a couple. There's a couple looming. One of those is Alabama. I don't think Alabama can lose couple more games.
We kind of already talked about it. They're going into LSU in 2 weeks. They got a little, they've already been scared twice. Three can be in the playoffs with 3 losses. I don't think so.
Do you get the benefit because you're Alabama? But now here's the
I don't
other
think
thing.
you can.
You're not Nick Saban, Alabama.
No.
I think that matters. If it was Saban, you probably get the guarantee. You get the guarantee and the benefit of
They're currently 14, I believe, or 16 or 14.
Yeah. They're
14, yeah.
They're not. I don't know if I believe in Bama that much. Their schedule, if you lose to LSU, you got 3 losses, and you've got losses against Vanderbilt and Tennessee. But
it's funny, we were talking about this 5 weeks ago, and we would have been like, Bama's got a chance of winning it all. We were talking about Jalen Milroe.
Milroe might be a little Jekyll and Hyde there, because Milroe has some games where you're like, what the hell is he doing? You look back to some of last year's bad habits, and you're like, what is going on here?
Yeah, it could be a lot more of him being it than the team as a whole.
The thing is, for Alabama, let's say they drop that LSU game. Obviously, they can't lose another. You can't lose 4 and get in. They got a tough game after LSU. They play Mercer.
Oh man, that is tough.
Big 11.
How did they get that game?
You try to schedule your strongest competition late in the year, and Mercer is they're a dark horse here.
That's a tough. Yeah, that's a huge one. Yeah,
they have that, and you have like Oklahoma, and then they have Auburn. So like Oklahoma is obviously not very good.
No,
Auburn not very good. So I mean, really, next week could clinch the playoff berth maybe for Alabama if they do beat LSU at LSU.
Yeah,
but how good's LSU?
They're pretty good.
How good's LSU?
They're pretty good. And they're gonna beat.
Are they?
They're gonna beat Bama. So it's that's why it's gonna be a complete nightmare scenario for them.
Oh.
Another nightmare scenario is just finally Ashton Gente had a down game.
Right, we'll consider it a down game.
Yeah,
it hurts Heisman candidacy. I mean, he dropped to like third.
Yeah. Well, I have a stat that I came up with. It was via CBS Sports.
Shout out CBS.
Shout out CBS. When was this? This was from October 25th. So this must have been before the game, I believe, on Saturday.
Yes.
But they're showing here Ashton Gente, Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, Reggie Bush, all Heisman candidates, and all where they were after 6 games.
Okay.
He has his rushing attempts 120. I'm just going to give you the comparison with Derrick Henry because Derrick Henry had the best numbers.
Okay.
Probably. He had 126 compared to Derrick Henry's 120. He's got 1,248 rushing yards. The next highest in this list was Reggie Bush with 761. He is 500 over 500 higher than that. His rushing yards per game 9.9. That's insane. He's almost averaging 10 yards a carry. You know who's closest to that? Reggie Bush 8.9.
That's pretty good.
Derrick Henry was only 5.5. Maybe he wasn't even good.
Maybe he just wasn't good.
Rushing touchdowns.
Oh.
Through 6 games, 17. 17. You know who had the next highest was Derrick Henry with 10 on an Alabama team.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So he is obliterating all of these running backs that won Heisman's, and now all of a sudden his running back is candidacy for Heisman is going down only because he's a running back.
Yes.
That is,
and he's not at a big school.
Positionists, because it's just not fair because he's absolutely crushing compared to the other running backs who have won Heisman. It's just an unfortunate system and just kind of the way that like things are being viewed right now. I think if he keeps going, I think he could turn it around and Michael Myers can win the Heisman.
Wow.
So
that was beautiful.
Yeah. I just thought, it's a little Halloween artistry there.
It's scary how much they devalue the running back position in the Heisman, isn't it?
It's absolutely terrifying.
What is that? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Ashton Gente all the way.
Yeah.
Will he win it?
I mean, speaking of Heismans, couple of Heismans, really. You want to talk about a nightmare scenario?
What's that?
How about the Bears losing on the Hail Mary?
Bears.
Man. Yeah, we just made that transition to the NFL pretty seamlessly, really.
Man, it was like a full moon.
It's a full moon out here. Yeah, I mean,
we're just transformed.
That was rough.
That's gotta hurt. Like, that is so bad.
Yeah. And it's like funny because you see how the interviews of like everybody afterwards. It's not like the Manders are like, oh yeah, like we totally drew that up. They're just kind of like, I mean, yeah, that's just a Hail Mary play. Like we got lucky. Like it's kind of happened.
Jaden
like
Daniels, the new Aaron Rodgers at Hail Marys.
It could be
back to back. What? That's 2 weeks in a row. There's been.
I would
Hail
like
Mary
to see.
touchdown.
I should have looked this up beforehand. I wanted to see. I should have looked up all the Aaron Rodgers ones and seen. But the dude threw it. Jaden Daniels threw it from the 35-yard line.
Dude, it was all there. He got it to the goal line, like on the fly. Like, yeah, it got tipped back, but it got to the end zone.
So, I was watching Good Morning Football this morning, and they showed like their favorite Hail Marys of all time. And I don't remember whose it was, but it was showing the greatest one. I think this might have been the greatest of all time. After I saw it from 1994, and it was Colorado versus Michigan, I believe. Mm-hmm. And it was Colorado. It was like, who was it? It was something Stewart. Like Stewart.
Was it Cordell Stewart?
No, Yes, Cordell Stewart just launching it from the 27-yard line and actually gets it there, and then has to the guy has to work a little bit, catches it, and just they win on it. Just in the big house too. Just on the road, just launches it from the 27-yard line, just completes it.
I mean,
absolutely absurd.
It's pretty impressive. I mean,
that's
those
gun.
who don't, I mean, Cordell Stewart,
that is an arm.
That's a deep cut for some people.
That's for me, but
older
maybe not for
crowd.
you. Yeah.
I mean, he was the Steelers back when he used to do the throwing competitions in the Pro Bowl. Dude, Cordell Stewart's arm.
That's the guy
is
you wanted.
Legit. Dude, he has a rocket.
Dude, that was
he did it with
one of
the
the craziest
Steelers,
things
too,
I've ever seen.
But, dude, that's crazy. Yeah. I know that Hail Mary you're talking about. I've seen that highlight. It's nuts. What?
Yeah, so I mean, as far as this one goes, still extremely, it's crazy and play of the year so far. But is it a nightmare scenario for the Bears? Yeah, for that game, it's actually hilarious. But it's kind of just their baseline. They've always been in a nightmare.
I mean, it's just
it's
Bears.
just like a dream. It's kind of just daily life, really. When it comes
life
down
is
to
Bear.
Yeah, it's nothing. Too crazy for them. There's still plenty of season left. They've got some wins going. It's not the worst thing in the world.
It's not great.
But it's not great.
It's not great.
Especially in that division, that hurts.
Oh, you know what was also nightmare?
What was that?
Losing to the Browns.
Ouch.
Dude, we've been praising the Ravens. They've looked so good. And then, man, Jameis just ate that dub again.
I love it.
Why are we sleeping on Jameis so
Dude,
much? Why
this
is he
is
not
always
a
the
starter?
man. Jameis
Why
is
is he
the
not
man.
consistently a starter?
I don't get it. I think it was just because he had a cracked back he had a fractured back for years.
Don't matter. He still sling it.
Dude, Jameis has always been the man.
He's him.
He
might throw 30 picks, but he throws 30 tuds too.
I mean, clearly he wasn't that good because then Tom Brady came in and won a Super Bowl.
Hey, but they were still a playoff team with Jameis. They were still decent.
Yeah.
Jameis put up huge numbers for those fantasy receivers.
I know. I mean, I get it. I had
Those
him
were
those
peak years for Mike Evans and Godwin. They were slinging the rock.
Yeah, but I mean, what do we say about these Ravens? I mean,
is it time to panic?
I mean,
they got
talk
the Broncos.
about a Jekyll and Hyde team,
right?
I mean,
their
gone
wins
both
look
ways.
great and their losses terrible.
Yeah, I mean, and now you're going in and you're facing the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos are going in there. The hottest team. I mean, let's be real. They're both 5-3 teams. The Broncos are 5-3 as well. So
put some respect on the Broncos' name. Bo Nix is starting to figure it out.
Yep.
Bo knows the offense now. Broncos gonna hit.
I'm all in on the Broncos.
I mean, I'm one game away from Broncos over hitting a 5.5.
Yeah, I mean,
I got money in the bank already.
We were going to talk about this later and kind of some of the matchups, but I mean, this week they've got the Romo Nance broadcast.
Yes, that's the peak. That's when you made it. You get Romo and Nance.
Yep.
When was the last time they called a Bronco game?
Oh, it's been years.
It's probably what the
Chiefs.
Peyton Manning.
It's probably just like a Chiefs game.
Peyton Manning Dallas Cowboy game with the immaculate
probably
running in of the touchdown.
No, I mean, I think, look, Bo's been hitting his stride recently. Bit of a freak in fantasy, I would say. Getting a little freaky out there. Is he worth the start? Is he kind of a must start these days? I don't know.
He looks like a super freak.
Yeah, I mean,
he can run it. He can throw it.
And then he's putting up top 10 fantasy points the last few games.
He's
I don't know. Is it time?
I think I looked and he led basically all rookie QBs in October in every statistic.
Yeah,
that was positive.
And everybody's been already looking at Jaden Daniels. Obviously do
reasons.
Credit, respect.
Right.
But I mean, it's kind of overshadowing how well Bo's been figuring out ever since he got called. Ferris Bueller, he's kind of figured it out, really.
Yeah, he hasn't taken any days off lately.
He is not. And then I guess the question is going to be is can the defense, who has been the number one defense, not only in fantasy, but let's just say in the NFL this year.
History?
The
history of the
maybe,
NFL?
quite possibly. But can they contain the Eddie on, Halloween weekend?
Ooh. He runs
That's
like
tough.
the headless horseman.
He does. He does.
Derrick Henry is a big man. I think it's going to make the Ravens throw it.
So his prop this week is over 92.5 yards. That is insane.
God, that's a lot.
That's so many against the Broncos team. That's how good Derrick Henry is.
Oh, man, they haven't got torched on the run like that.
Yeah, that's rough.
I would be inclined to take the under.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Lamar has a better chance of breaking his rushing total. Is like I think they'll be more susceptible to him pulling it out in the option.
Yeah,
but I think they'll be able to get Henry down.
I would take the under as well. Actually, I wouldn't take that bet, but if I had to,
I would take the under in yards.
I guess back to nightmare scenarios because we're both picking the Broncos, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, look, after this week, Broncos gonna be 6-3. Ravens gonna be 5-4.
Broncos gonna be fighting for a top spot in the playoffs.
If they win that, they're right there behind the Chiefs.
I mean, that's fine. You don't want to be the last team to be undefeated either.
No.
You know the last team that actually won the Super Bowl that was undefeated?
Who's that?
That was the 2009 Colts, led by Peyton Manning when they beat the Rex Grossman
Look at these
Chicago
stats coming in
Bears
here.
on a rainy day.
Wow.
Reggie Wayne touchdown.
Right. Weather report.
Yeah. What mattered in that Super Bowl? It was actually terribly rainy. That Super Bowl. Yeah, that's the last team that was the last undefeated to actually win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So really, it's not a good omen.
No.
Spooky.
That is
stats.
Very spooky. It's really terrifying and spooky is how about those Jets, baby? All right, J-E-T.
Shit.
Yeah, look. I mean, you just lost to the Patriots. I don't know what to say here.
Hold on. I went on that rant about Aaron Rodgers. Where was I wrong?
Dude, I hate to say it because I like Rodgers actually.
But who else are you going to cop out on now?
I'm starting to not like him actually. I'm starting to it's starting to change my whole perspective on him, honestly.
And now you look at the Packers, you're like, dude, even when Jordan Love goes out, Malik Willis comes in and they can still win games.
Yeah, they're rocking it.
You just lost to the fucking Patriots. There's no excuse.
And you got Devontae, you got Garrett Wilson, you got Breece Hall, you got Braylon Allen, you got Lazar.
You have more weapons than most teams could dream of.
You got Mike Williams.
You got a 4 that could be a 2 on a lot of teams. And you can't beat the Patriots? Come on now. You already got your coach fired. Who else is going to go?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it was 25 points to the Patriots too, so the defense has to tighten up too. But I don't care.
Matter.
You have that offense. It doesn't matter.
No,
you still have to get it done. I mean, it is. You are full nightmare scenario with Jets. This might be one of the top nightmares in sports right now if you are living it. But you know what? The thing is that they've been living it for decades.
They've never woken up from this nightmare.
No, it's a never-ending nightmare for them, really. But yeah, I mean, it's not a nightmare for Robert Saleh
now he went to a winning. Isn't it ironic? He goes to help the Packers.
It is hilarious.
It's a little bit of a,
and he's getting paid $50,000 a day
by Jets to make the Packers better. It really wasn't as solid as the issue.
It's amazing.
It's your quarterback.
So
but that's just me.
I mean, you already talked about it last week. We don't really need to harp on it too much. Another nightmare is the Saints starting 2-0 and then never winning a game ever again. What do we think of that?
That's unfortunate is what that is.
91 points in the first 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, obviously getting hurt and all that's not great.
Also part of the nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nightmare that doesn't seem to end.
I mean,
it just doesn't look good.
Nightmare for Alvin Kamara.
I mean, they just keep losing piece after piece after piece. Yeah, it's a nightmare for Kamara because now they just load the box. And I mean, they have a chance to win this week. You talk about one of probably the worst games of the week. The Panthers, Saints.
Big divisional matchup.
Panthers are going back to Bryce Young, who we just watched Denver
they don't know what to do
apart. And then they trade away their best receiver in Deontay Johnson to the Ravens. Man, I know the Panthers are just trying to get a high draft at this point.
Yeah.
But New Orleans, I think, is too.
Yeah.
Who do we think wins this game?
I think it's going to be the Saints.
The Saints are a 7.5 point favorite.
Yeah.
How do you have a 2-6 be a 7.5 point favorite over a 1-7 team?
That's how bad of a team Carolina is. And they just traded away Deontay Johnson.
It's going to be 69 degrees in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
On a nice noon kickoff.
Oh, that's a huge difference. Is it going
to be a sellout at Bank of America Stadium?
No. Not a chance.
I heard if you open a new Bank of America account, they give you a free ticket. Yeah.
It's that bad.
Yeah, that's what I heard is the promo. I'm just telling you guys in case you live out there,
Yeah, of course.
You're welcome.
Speaking of trading news, like I said, Deontay Johnson's over there. Last week, during our bye week, DeAndre Hopkins goes over to the Chiefs. How is this? This is a nightmare for the rest of us. This is just a nightmare for the rest of us.
This is always a nightmare.
I just don't understand. The 7-0 Chiefs just keep Frankensteining their roster together to revitalize
their wide receiver core
team
is
and their
literally
players.
broken parts. Like they just take anybody and throw it in there, and it
it
just
works.
seems to work. Like,
I mean, yes, you're getting
declining.
You're getting a declining, not really hobbled
Just
DeAndre
declining
Hopkins,
D-Hop.
and yet
He's still better than most receivers, even declining. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, he's still one of the best to ever do it. And on top of that, you've also got him showing up after 5 days and still
basically playing the whole game.
playing the whole game. So like,
Not knowing the playbook, just
getting a
kinda
couple
going
receptions.
out there.
I honestly think that he is gonna probably make. I don't think he's gonna be like. Obviously, he's not gonna like take over by any means, but I do think he's actually gonna make a difference and an impact. And is he gonna be fantasy relevant? No, probably not, because I don't think anybody's fantasy relevant on this team right now.
outside of the Kareem.
Outside of my boy Kareem Hunt, who's getting 20 carries a game, which once again, another
Ground
guy
and
they're
pound.
Frankensteining into this.
Kareem deserves redemption tour.
He does.
in
I
KC,
agree.
Because you're pro incidental contact
No,
with the foot.
no, it was incidental contact, but
That's a spooky situation to go
yeah,
into.
we don't want to talk about that one. But that's a bad one for all of us in the NFL or fans of the NFL to watch. Is that they're 7-0. They keep getting players. They keep finding Frankensteining ways to win games as well.
Yeah.
But you know who's living the worst nightmare out of all of the NFL, maybe sports?
Who is that?
It's those New York Giants.
Oh, man. It's tough to be a New York team right now.
You don't want to be in New York for sports. I mean,
It's rough right now.
which, speaking of which, let me just detour slightly. This is unplanned.
Oh, no.
How do you feel about those Yankees?
I mean, it has been less than spectacular.
Yeah.
Literally
that's a
had the
nightmare
worst
scenario
weekend.
for you.
I actually had a nightmare weekend.
Yeah.
We go up Milwaukee, hit up the condo. Bucks opening night.
Yeah.
We got nice tickets down
Yeah.
low. Bucks are playing the Bulls. Easy game. Bucks are like, shit. Bulls win, so I watch the Bulls beat the Bucks
That
at
hurts.
home in person.
Makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
I'm confused.
Then after that, we go back to a bar after, catch the end of the Yankee game. Game 1. Yankees did what they could. They take the lead. And then Aaron Boone's like, hey, you know what's a good idea? Let's throw a fucking reliever that hasn't pitched in a month in a game in Nestor Cortez.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Otani out, whatever, gets a
I don't
pop
see a
out on a
problem.
hell of a play. And then let's challenge Freddie Freeman with an 89-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle and see if he can turn on it.
Yeah.
And hits it to the moon.
Oh.
So that was Friday night.
But hey, Freddie Freeman's on fire.
Yeah. So that was Friday night. Saturday night, we're still up there. Then I have to watch Freddie Freeman hit another
Again.
home run.
Yeah.
And Tommy Edman.
Who Cardinals just let go for nothing.
Yeah. And CSMP.
Yeah.
Yeah. So down 3-0. Got a dub last night. Currently getting a win right now. 3-2.
So they're going to come back and win.
Actually, what the fuck just happened?
Oh, no.
Did you just
I
see
did.
this?
I saw it. That's why I
What
said
is going on? As we're filming, Yankees were up 5-0. And now it is 5-5.
Yeah.
God, Freddie Freeman.
This might happen on the show. They
Oh
might
my
lose
God.
it on the show.
This is ridiculous. You really just do this because you saw
Talk
the
about
fucking
I did.
score?
Talk about a nightmare scenario.
Oh my God.
I didn't
This
know.
is the worst.
I
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought they were still winning 5-0.
I thought you were going to go into that, but you did. You ended up seeing it.
Yeah, that's a shame. Well, it was
right.
a good baseball year. God.
I'll let him stew over that for a while. Like I said, nightmare scenario. What's worse than that, than his weekend, is just being a Giants fan in general.
That's every weekend for them.
It's every weekend. I mean, if you're a Giants fan, you're living the worst nightmare of all, because look, you just lost to Russ. You let
him cook.
You let Russ seem like he is like back, and like that he's just back to being who.
It's because
who
he got
thought
that
was
Danger
with
Witch
Seattle.
sandwich back, a different job up
It
there
is.
in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and we weren't here last week to talk about it. Oh, mercy. Saquon got his revenge game, and it was so sweet to watch. I mean, literally had almost a career game against them, like at their own place. You just see it. I mean, like if I have a Saquon jersey. I'm a fan of Saquon. I've had him in fantasy pretty much every year as a dynasty player.
We're very pro Saquon pod show.
And I just, I love to see it. I love to see that revenge game. But yeah, terrible nightmare for those Giants fans. So if you are out there, I feel for you. We
send our thoughts and prayers.
Too.
Hang in there. It will get better.
You got any other segments for us this show?
Segments? Yeah. Oh yeah, I got one.
All right, what do you got?
Talking about ghosting. You know what's worse? I mean, this can go two ways. Like, you're talking to a girl and she just stops replying.
Sure. Right.
Or you have a fantasy guy and they just stop performing and ghost you, and you're done on them and you're out. Yeah. You got any players like that in fantasy that you're like out on? Like, I'm ghosting them. They're done. Not playing them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm ghosting Caroline on Hinge right now. Just not feeling her, but no, but
man, rough. Not a listener.
Shout out Caroline, but no.
Oh, does she subscribe?
It's really because she didn't subscribe. That's why she's getting ghosted.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck.
But no, as far as fantasy players, number one guy I'm ghosting this week, and I have him in one of my leagues, is Travis Etienne.
Oh.
Yeah. Love the player. There's nothing to do with the player's skill. It's a situation.
It's a situationship?
Look, I'm a little picky. I'm a little too picky with my relationships.
This is getting a lot deeper than you got to do. This actually hits home a little more
really
than
hits
you
home.
think.
But no, I mean, look, it's not the player. It's not him. It's me. I don't like what I see with how. Okay, first off, you got Tank Bigsby, who is also dealing with an ankle injury. Mm-hmm. So there's a chance that Travis Etienne could live on his own this week in that backfield. However, he's dealing with a hamstring injury, and I'm out on players with hamstring injuries in general. Like hamstrings, that injury, if you have it, it's you got to do what the Bucs are doing with Mike Evans right now, and just give him that long rest.
It's still questionable,
and it's still questionable. Like Cooper Kupp last year.
I mean, like it better if it's like mid-season, you pull it and you give the time in the middle. Yeah. But man, it's the ones at the beginning of the year that are the worst. Like if they come into like camp with like a hamstring injury, it's over. Like your year, you might as well not.
So I think it's more the situation. We saw what Tank Bigsby could do even when they were both in that backfield. The dude can rip it. He can be a number one.
Do you think Tank's better than Etienne?
They're very similar. I would say it's hard to say who's better.
Tank doesn't have like the clout that Etienne does, but when you watch him, there's nothing that I see Etienne do that I don't think Tank can do.
I think their 1A, 1B is a situation, and depending on who's healthier and who's got the momentum going, Tank could be better. But yeah, I think that's why I'm ghosting him though, is because Tank's in that offense, and Travis is dealing with that hamstring and has already been kind of questionable as far as who to play anyway, as far as turnovers, dealing with the injuries and whatnot. The other player I'm going to ghost real quick is CJ Stroud, and simply not because of the player as well. It's not him, it's me. It's simply the situation that now you're down your two top skill level receivers, with Stephon Diggs going down last week. But yeah, who do you got this week as far as or just in general? Yeah.
The people I'm ghosting, this one is definitely, it's a him. It's not me.
It's definitely him.
Anthony Richardson.
Oh, okay.
Obviously that seems a little obvious now that the Colts are doing the same thing. They're kind of ghosting him.
I was like, I don't think you're alone in that one.
But to be fair, I've been a hater of Anthony Richardson since we started. Oh. And you can go back and watch. I don't think he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. He's got talent. He's pure raw talent. Yeah. Dude's trash as a quarterback. And then you tap yourself out. Nah. Ghosted himself. The other one, this one might be more the situation him.
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson.
Okay.
Because now he's losing target volume.
Heading over to the better team.
Yeah, it's an improvement in team, but you're going to get less targets now. So, there's not that many targets to go around with the Ravens offense anyway passing. So I think it kind of makes Deontay Johnson relevant now, kind of week in and week out. I don't think you can start him with confidence, so I'm just ghosting him. I'm done.
I dig that pick. I think I'm also, if I Deontay Johnson owner, I'm very disappointed.
That's unfortunate. Like, I'd rather be like the receiver on a garbage team and just get all the targets for fantasy.
Well, I was already kind of nervous. Like, I have Zay Flowers in a league, and I'm like, week in and week out, I'm like,
does he have enough to sustain the start every week?
I don't doubt the player. It's just the situation.
Volume?
It's weird too, because it's like Lamar is a great fantasy player.
He throws good enough. Like, he throws enough passes to be relevant every week, as far as like his pass catchers can be relevant.
They can be,
but he spreads the ball.
He spreads it around. He runs it, and at the end of the day, is either like clutch enough to make that throw. I don't know how accurate he really is. That's just a personal
Lamar
opinion. No, I like him as a player person.
Most of these guys are player people outside of Bones.
I like him as a person, but no, I mean I think you're spot on with that one. I'm not really starting any Ravens wide receivers at this point. I have Zay Flowers, maybe a flex occasionally for me. But
is Zay Flowers still the one, or do you think Deontay Johnson takes the one? Like, if you had to put who's the one there, like, give it like 2 weeks when he comes into the offense.
Yeah, he's still the one because he's been there, and he's
by the end of the year, who's that one in the Ravens offense?
Who's skilled more? Probably Deontay Johnson.
So do you think he gets the better coverage? Where's Zay Flowers can cook?
Oh, you're saying more? As far as like who's getting bridge?
Yeah, who's gonna get the better
I would say
now.
I would say
Flowers get
Deontay Johnson's gonna probably after a couple weeks gonna get that better coverage. I would say.
I agree. I think that might help Zay Flowers for just quality of looks. Like, he might be able to break it off easier, some larger plays. But yeah, I'm ghosting those two. That's who I got.
All right. Well, as far as I guess we can move on to some of these big games this week. Tonight we've
spooktacular games.
A little spooktacular. I mean, well, we already talked about the Broncos in Baltimore. We already picked that. We can skip that one. But tonight,
big Thursday night football, Halloween night.
Oh man,
this is Halloween. Halloween.
Texans at the Jets. And the Jets need a win. Like, I need a piece of candy right now. I don't know. They need a win. I need some sleep right now because I've been not sleeping all last week. But anyway, yeah. Who do you got in this game?
Shit. Like, I feel like the Jets have to win this. I think I'm gonna go Jets. I feel dirty.
Yeah.
I feel dirty saying that. Texans are really beat up, and on a short week, that doesn't bode well. Trying to adjust your offense now without Diggs and Nico Collins. Joe Mixon going to get a lot of work, I think. I think they're going to try to just run the clock, which probably will work to the Texans' favor. But I think the Jets get a win here. Otherwise, Rodgers on the trading block?
Whoa. On the trading block, I mean,
a lot of teams need a backup, right?
Yeah.
Would you rather have Joe Flacco or Aaron Rodgers?
The way Joe Flacco's been playing, man. I mean, yeah, I'm with you. And at the same time, Texans are going to win this one. They're going to go in there and win. It doesn't matter. But I mean, those Jets need a win. Like, Dracula needs, blood. Yeah. Or maybe
really good analogy.
Maybe they're gonna need a loss. They need a loss like, a Dracula takes a stake in the heart,
Oh,
something.
That's pretty good.
I don't know. Like I said, I need some sleep actually. But big games, a couple of big games this week that we can be excited about instead of kind of just like, all right, well, it's Halloween, we got some football, is Lions at Packers. Maybe the game of the week, maybe one of the games of the year.
The century.
Well, okay, we're going to go that far. Yeah, game of the century. Give me a little pre-game analysis on this one.
Pre-game analysis. I like the Lions here.
Yeah. Wow, what great analysis that was.
I think the Lions are set up well for this game. I think they're playing extremely well. Just all year, they've been great. Packers have skated by a couple games.
Sure.
They've been, Jordan Love's injury is obviously a huge factor here. Is he going to be a full go? Is he not going to be? Do we think they can really win with Malik Willis against the Lions? That's
a big ask.
That's tough. Now, obviously, going to Lambeau, huge advantage for Green Bay, but there's a couple missing pieces here potentially.
All right, well, let me take the reins on this one then. Packers are going to win at home here, and I love the Lions. Love what they're doing this year. Think they're one of the best teams. I think ultimately, grand scheme of things, they're a better team than the Packers right now. But Packers at home, Jordan Love will play. I know he's questionable. He's going to play, especially against the Lions. Divisional game. They really want to win this game. Right now, Jaden Reed, whatever his name is. Jaden Reed needs to kind of come back to where he should be. Like, he's been kind of having some down games as of late. He's starting to get some momentum like he got last game. I think he's going to have a big game in this game. Like I said, Jordan Love's going to play. Oh, and what I was meaning to say was Josh Jacobs, top 10 running back right now. So maybe I wasn't wrong after all.
Do you truly believe this?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Right. Sounds like you got a costume on.
Nah, there's no masks over here.
I think so.
This is real life. All right,
That's fine. Give me the Lions.
I'm going Packers here. All right, next we got the Sunday night game, which is Colts at Vikings.
What an odd Sunday night game.
Last time they had a Sunday night game like this, Kirk Cousins came out and did the skull chant with his shirt off.
And the chain on.
And the chain on. So,
man.
Got to live up to that hype this week. But look, the Vikings need a win because they don't need what happened to the Eagles last year. They don't need to happen to what happened to them a couple of years ago when they started off hot. They need to win this game at home in Sunday Night Football and not let the pesky Colts come out of nowhere and win it, because the Colts, yes, I think, with Joe Flacco have a lot better of a shot.
Yeah.
They're still the Colts in 2024, up and down, Jekyll and Hyde. But it's not a full moon. There's no werewolves coming out here. Vikings need to win this game. I think they will.
Yeah, I think Minnesota kind of rides. It's sitting at like -5 for Minnesota.
Spicy.
Yeah, I think Minnesota covers. Yeah, they have to win this game. They can't drop another in a row. Like, they need this win. I think Sam Darnold will get back on track. I'd look for a lot of runs with Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones has been electric.
Yep. And then we got Monday Night Football, Bucks at Chiefs. I mean, talk about if we want to give it one more Jekyll and Hyde, that's the Bucks in a nutshell. They're 4-4. I mean, they've had some spectacular wins where they're dominating and then losing.
Zombies out there, man. They don't have. There's no Godwin. There's no Evans.
It's zombies. Yeah,
they're just really just skin and bones. They're really just bones over here. That's what the Bucks are right now. It's tough.
Do they have a chance against the Chiefs?
No.
No,
not in the kingdom.
Do you have what's the spread? What are we looking like on that one?
That one is
it going to be
at?
I can't imagine it's
9.
It's not great.
It's 9.
All right.
Would you take the Chiefs at 9?
That one actually.
Or do you think the Bucks can keep within 9?
I think the Bucks can keep within 9. What do you think?
No.
Okay.
I think the Chiefs can win by 10.
Yeah.
Granted, the Chiefs not been the most convincing for their wins. They don't really cover.
That's
so
kind of my.
The argument would be they just don't cover that well anyway.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, that's kind of something. That's really the only big games this week. It's a lot of kind of, I don't want to say garbage games, but the matchups just have not lined up this week.
They're just meh.
So what do you think? A little propaganda action?
Oh, propaganda?
Yeah.
Wait, we got big news.
All right, go ahead.
Prize Picks now legal in Missouri.
Oh,
so now we can give it out, and people can actually go bet it here in your home state.
Yes, sir.
Missouri passed for Prize Picks,
and
it fell under the daily fantasy rules. How?
Not really sure how
I don't know.
is any different than
But
sleeper,
I'm here for it.
And, make sure that you go out and vote.
Vote prop 2.
Vote prop 2, yes.
Yes, the prop 2.
If you want to actually vote on something, or if you want to actually go on anything
stand
besides
for something,
Prize Picks.
Yeah. If you want to actually stand for something in this state, that's what you stand on.
Yeah, I'm not voting for anything else.
I don't care about anything
I could care less.
I'm just gonna cross them all out and write 2.
right.
See if it counts.
See if they give them. Yeah. So I guess I can start off with my little propaganda action. So this is via Prize Picks, of course.
Oh yeah, not a sponsor yet.
Not a sponsor, but if you would like to,
put us in touch.
We will do that. But I'm gonna start off with a little theme pick here. We're gonna go with none other than Scary Terry.
I see what you did there.
Scary Terry over 64.5 yards. He's been down the last couple games, and he's due to bounce back here. And Giants are bad. They're playing against the Giants, and their defense actually isn't like terrible. I'll give it to him, but I think he's gonna get over 60. He's gonna just the connection's gonna come back. I almost did the Jaden Daniels over with this to stack it, but I held off. Instead, I'm going to go with Joe Mixon over 20.5 rushing attempts.
I like that.
Tonight in Thursday Night Football, because like we had talked about already, wide receivers depleted. Stroud they're getting after him quickly in the backfield as it is. He's been doing very well for the circumstances, but Joe Mixon has already 3 out of the 4 games that he's played full games this season has been over 20.5 rushing attempts already. So in a game where you're even more depleted, I don't see why he shouldn't get this one. So I think this one is about as much of a lock as you can get. Aaron Rodgers is the other one I'm going to go with here.
You're taking 2 of 3 on Thursday
Night Football.
2 Halloween games?
But didn't I say that you should
never?
You should.
You've been very adamant. You don't bet on Thursday Night Football. Anything with it.
It's Halloween. It's a holiday. It's a holiday.
It's a holiday.
I get a little leeway here. I'm going Aaron Rodgers under 21.5 completions because he's not that good. And I just think that they're going to lean on the run a little bit here with Breece Hall, Braylon Allen. I mean, like we talked about, they have all the assets to get it done. But I'm going with the under on 21.5 completions.
That's pretty solid. That's a pretty solid little propaganda.
Oh, and you get 5 times on that one. So you bet 20, you get 100.
That's pretty good. I think I'm going to have to hit that one up. All right.
In my case, you get $5 off the $1 that I bet on.
Hell yeah. Did you put $1? If you go sign up for free right now because it got legalized, you get a free $5 lineup.
There you go.
So actually go set that up. I'm going to start on Halloween night too. I have Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 touchdown passes.
Whoa, we're going opposites.
I just think he's just going to get the volume there. Houston's defense isn't that great, so I think the matchups from just a receiver standpoint, it's tough to cover Devontae and Garrett Wilson. So I think he'll get 2 touchdowns here.
He could do both. That's fine.
Yeah, he could only complete a few passes, and I think we'll be fine. Then we go Alvin Kamara over 0.5 touchdown because who else going to score for him?
Talked about it.
And the Panthers are bad.
Yeah.
So
it's scary for him, but he's all they have.
He's all they have, and he's playing the Panthers. So he's not going to be contained.
No.
So I think that's pretty easy. This one might be a little spooky.
Oh.
We're going to go for a bounce back, a little throwback. We haven't talked about him in a minute.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill over 76.5 receiving yards.
Little
throwback.
Little Tyreek. I
I
thought for a second you were going to be ghosting him. I mean, I know Tua's back now, but he's been rough.
We just
in
have
fantasy.
too much history, me and Tyreek. You
Can't do
ghost
it.
somebody like that.
Okay,
we got too much.
Fair. You got to end it over the phone.
Yeah. It's got to be in person. Really, with Tyreek.
Yeah.
I own that.
Can't be ending it over the phone.
Nah, you can't just ghost somebody. But yeah, Tyreek over 76.5. I think they get back on track. Tua started to find him a little bit last game. I think that only grows. I think they kind of force feed Tyreek a little bit more against Buffalo.
Okay.
And they're going to be playing from behind, I'm assuming. So they're going to have to throw to keep pace. So give me those 3 on Prize Picks.
Wow.
to get that money.
I mean, yeah, we're soon to be sponsored by Prize Picks, I think.
These are exciting times.
Yeah, so what do you guys think of this spooky episode?
Oh, it was great.
I mean, I wish we could do this every week. It should be Halloween every week.
We should just have different. I mean, we'll have a Christmas one. We'll have a
there's other holidays
Turkey
left.
Day one, little Thanksgiving feast.
You know, a little Easter basket.
I mean, the Thanksgiving. Next week's gonna be interesting how we do next week because I will be on my way to Europe.
That's true.
next
You're gonna
week.
be live in Europe,
I
live
might be.
across the pond.
We really crossed the pond.
Wow.
Be in Paris.
Paris.
Maybe we do an episode while I'm under the Eiffel Tower.
I mean, look.
Or when we're doing one of the stadium tours, FC Bayern in Germany, I can just try to
Live
do it
from
there.
Bayern. I mean, look, this show's international now.
We're going nationwide,
It was
baby.
almost from India, but if their internet was better
Luckily,
there.
I think Europe has slightly better internet.
They do. They have better
So
internet.
I
mean,
think that'll be good.
What's our country count now this year? We're getting
man.
up there. If
As a show,
we've
moving.
traveled the earth.
I mean, you'll have how many under your belt?
I think like 9.
Yeah, and I'm gonna hit 5 alone on this trip for
Yeah,
the 2.5
that's
weeks. I'm gonna be
craziness.
out in Europe.
I've hit 5 continents this year.
That's impressive.
That's impressive.
I mean, I'm gonna be doing footy Fridays,
Yeah.
maybe on the pitch at one of the
Oh,
stadiums.
let's go.
Little
Look
Footy
forward. Make sure you
Friday.
guys check it out. Footy
Footy
Fridays
Fridays. We're on a heater.
on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Look, send us your freaking clips. I know, like it's a fun format and it's tough to get when you don't have like subscribers yet and we're trying to build this fan base, but it could be fun to start, having you guys on for introducing your guys' picks, spicy takes, scary takes, spooky takes, whatever you guys want to showcase and be on the show.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to get involved.
Yeah. So, I mean, make sure you follow, tell other people about us. And I mean, I know you didn't ask for another sports show.
But you got one.